Hey, so I'm making this video because it is very important that y'all hear this. I was bisexual from 8 years old to 17 years old. I have been, I'm skipping ahead. I'm no longer bisexual, but that has not been my own choosing. This is to primarily the Christians. My fellow Christians. I was already born again when I was bisexual. And I never embraced it, I never talked about it. And this isn't going to be my entire testimony because it would take... No one wants to watch a 30-minute video. Maybe someday. But I'm going to shorten it a little bit. The main thing is, it was, I'm sorry, hell on earth for me. Nothing compared to hell, but it was the worst. It's by far the worst trial I've ever gone through in my entire life, other than my mental illness. But it was a close battle there. It was both were hitting me at the same time. Anyway, during this time, I reached out to people on the internet. I wanted someone to tell me, yeah, it's not okay, but I'm here for you. Instead, my own fellow Christians, not my own church. My own church was very, very, very supporting, not of what I was doing, what I was going through, but they were supportive that I was feeling this. They were there for me. They allowed me to lean on them. They didn't judge me. They didn't put me on a higher sin level than them. But a lot of other Christians did. And they're like, you're an abomination. You're going to burn in the pits of hell. And, no, wrong. Because when you are saved, there's nothing, no demon in hell, hell itself, cannot pull you out of the arms of God. Especially not being bisexual, or gay, or trans, or whatever. Here's the thing, we all just struggle differently. You may struggle with adultery, you may struggle with lying, you may struggle with lust, you may struggle with being covetous, you may struggle with envy, jealousy, promiscuous behavior, you may struggle with stealing, you may struggle with hating someone, you may struggle with bitterness, you may struggle with any kind of sin problem, but we all struggle with sin problems, and if we say we don't, we are liars, or we're just such new Christians that we haven't yet, since we've been born again. Trust me, it'll happen. So anyway, here's the truth. The Bible also says that lying is an abomination. So if you're going to tell people who are LGBT, you're an abomination for being gay or whatever, you better be telling liars, you're an abomination for lying as well, because if you don't, you're hypocritical. That's homophobic. Believe it or not, a Christian can be homophobic, and a Christian can be a Christian without being homophobic. And what I mean by homophobic is treating gay people like they're any worse than you were before you got Jesus. Because they're not. You were once in a place where you were lost and you needed Jesus. So are they. I had Jesus, but I was super confused. You can't control going through that. Nobody chooses to go through that. Not real LGBT people. They don't choose it. It's hell. It isn't fun. It isn't a fashion statement. It isn't anything. It's not okay. It's life destroying. It's destructive for yourself, for your friends, for your family, especially for yourself. And all of my LGBT friends that I still have, they're wonderful. I love them. I pray for them. But here's the thing. They saw me at my highest level of bisexuality, and they see me now at my highest level of being straight. Let me explain. They saw me go from seeing me bisexual to seeing me transform. And that's because I guess, I don't know, I kept praying to God, I kept praying to God, I kept praying to God. kept praying for a miracle. I submitted everything to God. I was willing to do whatever I had to do. And at that point, He took it away from me. And it was a journey, but now it's gone. And thank God. Thank God. I will never forget that. That to me is like, I went from being dead to being alive. I was spiritually alive, but I wasn't, I was having issues, obviously. Here's what I dislike. You are going to lead more people astray from Jesus than an atheist is going to lead people astray from Jesus if you do not tell them, if you do not make it known that you're not better than them, that they might be an abomination before God, but so are liars, that you were also an abomination before you came to Jesus. We all were. That you still sin, that nobody is perfect, and that no, they cannot change themselves. They cannot change themselves. It is impossible. But the God who created your body and the God who created your mind and your whatever, He will see you through. Always. And He'll be there for you if you call on Him. And I've seen gay Christians who are still gay, but they don't act on it. You know, they live in celibacy where they let Jesus fill the empty parts of their life, and they're honestly super happy. And then there's some people who have wives or husbands, and they're still struggling. But their wives and husbands understand it, and they're there for them, and it's just a beautiful thing. And then there's those like me who got it took away from them. That's awesome. I can't say that God took it away immediately, because He didn't. And I'm glad He didn't, because now I have this testimony, and I have so much love and compassion for the LGBT community. And seeing I was part of their community at once, I can really connect with them, and I can really talk to them and know what to say for them. And God gives me those words. But I want you to know that you're no better than them. You're really not. If you look at the Bible, lying is also an abomination. Adultery, premarital sex. There are a lot of different sexual sins that a lot of people do not take into account. And if you're going to address one problem, you need to address all the problems. You know, maybe not in the same text or post, like if you're specifically making one for gay people. But you do need to address that they're no worse than an adulterer or a liar or whatever. Because if you don't, I can promise you that they're going to feel like you're singling them out, like you're hating them, like, you know, and that's going to make them hate God. Because eventually I got to the point where I hated God, I want Him to leave me alone. I hated Christians, I want them to leave me alone. Because I couldn't get better, and nobody was showing me that it was all in God's timing. No one told me that. No one told me, keep praying, just keep relying on God, it'll get better someday. Or just, God has a plan for you, you know, He'll see you through this struggle. No, nobody told me that. Everyone just acted like it was a choice to stop. It isn't. So I want to tell you to not speak on something unless you can have compassion, because these people need compassion no matter how mean they are. They are sad. They are depressed. They have problems in their life. And no. Everyone who's... I was never molested as a child. I was never raped as a child. I never had daddy issues. I've always had a pretty good life. You know, tell me at 8 years old that I chose to be bisexual, something I didn't even know about. No, I didn't. So, but that is the case for some people, that they get traumatized and they just go towards that. I'm super sorry, but I have something in mind. But you know what I'm saying. Just please make sure that you approach everything with a humble spirit. Just approach with a humble spirit and be nice to them no matter how mean they are to you. Be bold. But add enough sugar in there. By sugar, I don't mean sugar coating. Never sugarcoat anything. That's just as bad as being mean, because it's lying. Be nice, though. Like, if there's any way that you can reply to them boldly, but also in a level that shows your compassion and your care for them, they're not going to reply nice to you. 90% of them won't. but the word of God never returns void. And so give them some good Bible verses, and just be kind. Just be kind.